Clear, clear, spilling tea, no fear, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. I don't lies right here. Spilling tea, no fear. I'm still here. Da 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 da. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Yeah. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Yeah. Make sure you subscribe to Lakeysha Keysha, my dear. Yeah. I'm still here, no fear, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Stretch words like
Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. Make sure you subscribe to the Lakeysha Keysha channel.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm listening. Go on. Yes, I'm typing it all down.
What's up, guys? Oh my goodness. I thought I was going to take me a little nap before this, and it didn't work. So, yep. So, thank you, everybody that's here. Now, I did not tell you who my guest is going to be because I've learned, since being on YouTube, I used to put that information on the thumbnail, but, I've had situations where people will say that they're going to come, and then, you put it on the thumbnail, and then they just suddenly don't show up. So I do have a guest. Now, we've been talking about the Karmelo Anthony case. And there was a person that I was trying to get in contact with. And you know how you're trying to get in contact with somebody and you're trying to find them on social media, and for some reason you can't find them, right? So I just happened to run into this individual by accident. And so I just spoke to him. So he should be joining us relatively soon. Let me just make sure I didn't receive anything. He's saying, okay. So yeah, he should be joining us relatively soon. So let's kind of get into it. Like I said, he'll be joining us soon. So you guys know we have been talking about the Karmelo Anthony case. For those of you, hopefully, the majority of you may know hopefully y'all know who Karmelo Anthony is. Karmelo Anthony was the 17-year-old athlete who had some kind of situation with, a young kid from another school, and it ultimately ended in that other, kid ended up, losing his life. Now, there's been so many different stories and things that people have stated. And that was one of the reasons why I reached out to this individual that's going to join us soon, because there's been so many different stories. And in all honesty, everything that I have saw as it related to Karmelo Anthony basically said that he was a pretty good kid, a kid that we all aspire to have, a kid that's going to go to school, that's going to get good grades. He had a job, all of those great things. So I was wondering, like, what really happened? You know, as we saw, or we didn't see, because, you know, if you guys are familiar with the case, you know that the judge did not allow cameras to be in the courtroom, which generally, you know, when you're dealing with a state court, a lot of times they will allow, you know, the cameras to be there. So as this trial wrapped up, you know, we learned that, you know, there were a lot of things that happened in the court that we just did not see. One of the things that we learned is that there was a gag order. Okay. So a gag order just simply means that they cannot talk about anything, you know? So maybe the gag order was put in place so that this particular outcome that we're seeing would happen, because we were not able to see anything. Now, I don't know if you guys have been watching the news, but one of the things that I saw, as I said today, I was doing videos earlier, and I said, I'm going to take a little nap for, you know, before my interview later on. But one of the things that I saw on the news, I thought this was really, really odd. Okay. Because what we learned, we know that this Carmelo Anthony case has wrapped, but I don't know how y'all were feeling about the judge doing an interview. When I saw the judge had did an interview, I thought that was kind of weird, because I was like, wait a minute, what judge does an interview? Did you guys happen to catch that interview with the judge? I don't know if you guys happen to see that at all. So there's an interview out there now that the judge in the Carmelo Anthony case has done. And I was like, that's kind of weird. Now, I was thinking, while we waited on our guest to join, let's look at that video, because I was wondering, like, yeah, this is kind of weird. We understand, you know, that because the case is over, the gag order is pretty much, you know, it doesn't, you know, kind of like no matter right now. But I thought that was really weird that the judge is doing an interview. So let's get into that as we wait on our guests to join us. So I thought that would be interesting to watch that.
Your name and how you spell it.
My name is John Roach, JOHN ROACH.
Now, I know the answers to that. I know the answer to that question, but I got to ask it for the record.
100%.
You've been on the bench for some time.
Yep, I've been on the bench for about 20 years.
20 years. And this is the end.
And then 6 months will be in the end.
Now, another thing, guys, and when I had did my research too on this guy, it stated, it was kind of conflicting information. Some information had stated that there was information out there that he was going to, obviously he's a judge, he has to be elected, but there was information stating that he was not going to run for re-election. But then there was also information out there that said, that's not necessarily true. What we learned in this interview is that this judge is now saying that this is his last few months on the bench, which means he's not going to run for re-election. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I was like, how convenient is it that he actually gets this case and now he's not going to run for re-election? So I thought that was very interesting.
Did you want to take on this trial?
I wanted the Collin County Judiciary to take on this trial. It was important to me to have somebody from Collin County preside over this Collin County case. So I didn't ask for it. No one, that's not how it works anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for it, but I was certainly willing to do it because that was my duty.
In your conversations with, my guess it's an administrative judge who goes, I know they go down the list and they say, all right, it's your turn and it's your turn. As they go through all the conflicts of judges that may, potential conflicts, when they come and say, John, this may be yours, your first reaction is?
I'll take it. Every time. I think it's my job. It's my duty. That's what I was elected to do.
Yeah.
That's the oath that I
have a question for some people in the chat. Do you guys how many times have you saw a judge give an interview? Is it just me, or is this weird as hell? A judge? I've never heard of anything like this. Like, I watch a lot of different court cases. I don't normally see a judge giving an interview. I don't know about y'all, but for me, this is weird as F-U-C-K. A judge giving an interview? He states in this interview that he's been on the bench for 20 years. So why are you giving an interview? You've been on the bench for 20 years. What is the significance that you wanted to give an interview as it related to this case? I don't understand it. I feel like they are all playing in our faces. This is not a normal behavior of a judge. A judge? Judges do their job and take their ass home. Why are you so into this case that you sitting here? He looks like he's a member of the LGBTQ community. Now, I'm not trying to be funny or anything, but I'm just saying, what judge gives an interview? This is highly weird.
And I'm going to do my job.
No consultation with your family or?
None.
No.
Nope.
And where does that come from?
I don't know. I think it's just duty. I think duty, whether that's duty in the Marine Corps or just duty to my family and stuff, I take duty really seriously. And I took this job to perform that duty. And if that's what I had to do, that's what I have to do.
Did you fully at the time grasp the enormity of that decision and the outside stuff?
I don't know. I think in some ways I did. I think in other ways I didn't. I certainly knew it was very, very important case within our community. I didn't think I realized the enormity of the social media.
I don't know what he means when he says within our community, because those are a very interesting choice of words, considering, I mean, I read the comments and some people have been saying, oh, well, it wasn't an all-white jury. Okay, well, let's call it a white and Asian jury, because it most definitely wasn't the community that Karmelo is. That's not Karmelo's community. Generally, the jury should be a reflection of your community. So when he's talking about the community, I don't know what community. Is he talking about the white community? Is he talking about the KKK community? Is he talking about the LGBTQ community? What is he talking about? I'm confused.
The media during the trial.
How long have you been prepping for this trial?
I've been prepping for this trial with the departments, with the Collin County system, with the sheriff's office and everybody for about 8 months.
Is that the longest you've ever had to prep?
100%.
Why?
Logistics. One of the critical pieces of this case where we had minors who were testifying. Prior to me getting the case, we had some of those witnesses doxxed and swatted and revealed on social media.
I wanted to stop it here, guys, because he went on to say, you know, that witnesses had been doxxed and they had been swatted. I thought that was a very interesting place to stop. You know why? Because when he goes into saying witnesses had been basically put out on the front street, why didn't he mention Karmelo Anthony's family? It was reported, and I don't know if the number had changed, that the family had moved at least 8 times. I mean, what is he talking about? He talks about the witnesses, but what about Karmelo's safety? Very interesting choice of words.
Want that to add to the already traumatic event they've been through. And I didn't want them to change their testimony or be uncooperative with people trying to call them as witness out of fear. And so my number one duty at that point in time getting the case was to how do we protect those minors who are critical to this case to come and testify.
I'm sure you've already read and know that one of your fellow judges has already been doxxed and swatted and all the things.
I did know that.
Listen, very interesting change of the direction of this interview, because what the interviewer asked him, what about the judge? Oh, I didn't even mention the judge. There was a judge that basically gave Karmelo Anthony a bond. She had been harassed. They had did so much to his own fellow judge that worked with him. Did you guys hear anything that he said about that Black judge in which all of her information was put out there? Well, who do you think did that? I mean, you don't think it was the Karmelo Anthony family? I don't know about this guy. Something just doesn't seem right. It just doesn't. He never went into saying anything about the judge, but when asked, yeah, I do know about it. I know about it, yeah.
And still no reluctance from wanting to take it on.
None.
Yeah. The decision to not have cameras or any kind of streaming, was that an easy one?
Yes, it was an easy decision. And I'll tell you why. My primary goal in any case is to make sure that the defendant and the prosecution gets a fair trial.
If his goal was for the defendant to get a fair trial, the best thing that he should have did was allow the cameras in to come and be a part of the case. Because what happens when people can see what is going on, they're less likely to believe that things occurred that people could not see. So a judge that's wanting a fair trial typically will allow the cameras in the proceedings. Now, you guys know with federal cases, cameras are just not allowed. But the fact that the point he's trying to say is, oh, I left the cameras out because I wanted it to be fair. Nobody feels as if it was fair. I feel like the reason that this guy did not want the cameras there, because guess what? The world would be there and able to scrutinize every single thing. If you guys watch the YSL trial, you remember that those attorneys got that judge removed because of things that he was doing. I feel like this dude did not want the cameras in there because now you have intelligent people, lawyers, other judges, you have the public. They would be able to scrutinize everything that was going on. So for him to say he wanted a fair trial, but yet nobody really felt that the trial was actually fair. Now, if you guys have not liked the video, please go ahead and like the video.
Period. I have seen from other cases around the country where cameras in the courtroom changed the way that the judge acted, the lawyers acted, some of the witnesses acted. And we were not going to have that here. We were going to really isolate the purpose for which we were here for, which is to have that fair trial. And cameras in the courtroom did not enter into that equation at all.
How much grief did you get from?
He said cameras in the courtroom from his previous experience when he's watched other trials changed the way that people acted. No, them cameras kept them people on their toes, because generally a person isn't going to act differently because a camera is there, but what they'll probably do is make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do because they're going to be highly scrutinized. So basically he's saying, well, no, I didn't have the cameras there because I wanted to make sure that everybody was doing what they were supposed to do. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, sir. That doesn't make any sense.
People around you about that decision?
I don't know. I don't listen to it. I just flat don't listen to what's going on the outside. I do what I think is right, no matter what decision that is. And I sleep well at night knowing if I follow the law, then everything works out like it's supposed to. And so these outside influences, all the noise from the outside, I really isolated myself from that in this case and in all cases, and just do my job, do the best I can, following the law.
How do you think we're talking with the attorneys other attorneys outside of this. How do you think they describe you?
Strict, no nonsense, fair, and that.
You know, it's interesting that he describes himself as fair, but if you guys listen to the information and, you know, some of the things that has come out about this verdict, I don't know who thinks that it's fair. In all honesty, even a recent video that even the father did thought that it wasn't fair. In fact, he thought that Karmelo should have gotten life. So when he says, you know, I don't know. What are you guys saying in the chat? Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Does this judge appear to be authentic? Like, he's giving me, I feel like I should have been one of those people that can read body languages, because his whole entire posture, including his face, the way he's, you know, is giving bullshit is what it's giving. It's giving definite bullshit.
To me, it's the most important part. I know for a fact when I make a decision here, people are unhappy. What I hope is when they walk out the door that they think they got a fair trial or a fair hearing or fair something. And if they do that, no matter what they think about me personally, then I've succeeded.
And you're okay with any of those characterizations?
I think they're fair.
Yeah. I hate to have to ask about stuff that emerges on social media, but I have to ask it. And I know you don't know of any of it because you're not on social media.
I'm on it. I mean, I'm an elected official, so I have a Facebook page and stuff. Do I look at it? Do I monitor it? Do I let it impact me? None, not at all.
So I have to ask, do you have a personal relationship with the Metcalfs?
I wouldn't know Mr. Metcalf prior to this trial if he walked up to me and said hello. I don't know the Metcalfs. I sympathize with the Metcalfs and what they've been through and all, but I don't know them personally. Never have.
So
Isn't that a very interesting choice of words? I sympathize with the Metcalfs for everything that they have been through. Huh. Well, the Carmelo Anthony family, I guess they're just a bunch of animals, right? Because they didn't go through nothing, right? In fact, Carmelo's father and mother actually had nothing to do with this. They're just helping their son as any parent would do. He said, I sympathize. I don't know the Metcalfs, but I sympathize with them. He said enough right there. You shouldn't be sympathizing with anybody. You are a judge. You are supposed to remain a judge and not be connected via personal, emotional feelings at all. I sympathize with the Metcalfs for all that they have been through. Very interesting choice of words.
These AI images emerging of you and them at a party or drinking together, all
Never
of that.
happened. And that's the problem with social media, isn't it? You can't tell what's true and what's not true. I will tell you, I got some reports of some things that were coming out of this courtroom, and I wondered to myself, were they even in the same courtroom that I was? It's that bad. And I think that's tragic, because I think really if you just listen.
So now he's saying the things that the things that he saw on social media, he didn't understand what people were saying, because from his perspective, those things never happened. Huh? Are you joking? No, those things did happen. Individuals, reporters reported that they were being harassed, they were being attacked. These people they didn't even know each other. So how significant is it that these individuals would say that these things were happening to them and it wasn't happening at all. So, you know, what kind of judge discounts the experience of a person? Is it because they were Black? Because for you to say those individuals did not experience what they said they experienced makes me look at you side-eyed. That's would be like if somebody told you they had an issue and then you told them that they didn't have an issue. Who are you to tell someone that they didn't experience what they did experience? Well, I think it's because he didn't want to own what they were doing. I mean, it's clear. Now, we know on social media, everything we see is not true, but these people experiences, I do believe. I did a video earlier in which I talked about that racist guy. I think his name was Jake Lang, I think is his name. This guy was arrested. That was real. Like, so when he says he didn't understand what people were talking about, were they at the same court? What are you talking about? These are real issues that actually took place.
To the case based upon the facts, you'd understand it so much better.
Do you think it reinforced your decision to not have cameras or streaming inside this?
Sort of. I will tell you this. Sometimes I think maybe I should have at least the audio streamed or something so people could hear it. But at the end of the day, I don't think no matter what, people are going to distort whatever happens or whatever they hear into their own agenda. And so what's the point? And again, that noise affects people, affects the fairness of the trial, the safety of the witnesses, the safety of the jury. And those are my primary concerns, not what social media says. It's not my duty. I don't think it's my job to feed social media or the media stuff. I certainly understand the role that media plays in a case like this, but I'm not here to feed it. And I took that very, very seriously.
But Judge, when people don't have access to the trial or the courtroom, doesn't it invite speculation?
Well, sort of.
Isn't that what I just said? When people don't have access to the information, you basically ask for speculation because we do not trust what we cannot see. So this guy making this bold statement saying, oh, I decided to keep the cameras out of the, proceeding because I just wanted this, everybody to get a fair chance. It's the biggest crock of shit that you ever heard. Now, I understand that there are minors, but guys, have you not saw trials on court where they do not put the camera on the person that's testifying? They put people on the stand. They will turn either the volume down or, once they say the person's name, you're not able to hear it. This man is full of shit. He's full of it.
But I got 70 seats in my courtroom, and I had 200 requests by the media to sit in the courtroom. So let's say if I just entertain the press, then I have nobody from the public watching what's going on in their county. And so I had to do a balance between the media's right to know and to be able to report what's going on, because I think that's extraordinarily important. I think it's important that the general public had access to the courtroom and to see what was going on. And so I tried to balance all those things with the primary, again, purpose of having a fair trial. And I think I struck that balance pretty well.
But the media's right to know is the public's right to know. Is the public's access. We are the extension of that public.
I think somebody from the public who wanted to come watch a trial and know that they were excluded from the trial because all the media was there, I beg to differ.
Do you think there was...
This guy seems like, he either can't articulate or he doesn't want to articulate. You wouldn't have so many people that were trying to get in there and watch the trial if you had allowed cameras in there. I mean, what part of this does he not understand? The people lined up because they were not able to see the trial.
There's a possibility for a learning experience. I mean, people do not know about how trial works. Do you think that this may have been an opportunity for people to know how it truly works, and that kind of erases some of the negative notions of court and trial?
I'm doing this interview with you to make sure that people understand how the system works. And if they really wanted to, and I mean this seriously, if they wanted to, they could have stood in line with everybody else, and had the 27 to 32 public seats that we had in this courtroom.
If the people really wanted to watch the trial, they could have stood in line like everybody else. Oh, that's not necessarily true, because some people don't have the liberty to just jump on a plane, get a hotel, come out at 6 o'clock, wait in a line. And he's being disingenuous because everybody didn't get in the courtroom. So y'all see, this is great for Karmelo's appeal, because it's really going into who this guy really is. He is not taking accountability for his decision as the courtroom judge to not allow the media into the courtroom. And he's jucking and shiving, dodging bullets, making up every excuse, but it just doesn't make any sense, because everybody cannot show up in Collin County, racist as Texas, to get in a building. Even if they all stood in the line, they wouldn't get in, because there's a limitation to how many people would actually be able to get a seat. But for some reason, he doesn't seem to articulate that.
That we rotated every day. And so was that important to them? They could have made it in here.
How did you plan for some of the outside noise?
Well, we were certainly playing with the sheriff's office and the McKinney Police Department and the Allen Police Department and the Frisco Police Department. So those were talks that we're having 8 months before the trial to ensure the safety of the people out in the parking lots. They certainly had a right to demonstrate and all, and I think we struck a very, very good balance that allowed them to do that, at the same time maintaining safety of everybody involved.
Did it affect your data?
Maintaining safety of everybody involved? I don't know if you guys have any free time. Go Google Jake Lang arrested in Collin County for terroristic threats. So I don't know what he means. Safety for, oh, okay, I get it. Safety for the white people involved. I mean, we saw videos of bloggers in their cars crying, saying that they tried and that these people did not seem to care about their safety. So I'm a little bit confused. Well, no, I'm not confused, but this is actually letting us know, well, confirming what we already knew about this judge. This judge didn't give a damn about Karmelo Anthony or his family. We ain't stupid. We wasn't born yesterday. We have dealt with racist people our entire life. And most of them, they don't tell you that they're racist. They show you that they're racist based on how they treat you. This man is full of bullshit. Straight up bullshit.
I didn't. Actually, I didn't. I came in from a different entrance from the courthouse. I didn't come in through the front. I couldn't hear any noise at all from my office. The jurors were not facing the parking lot, so they didn't see anything or hear anything. And I think we did a marvelous job in isolating them and having them concentrate just on what was going on in this courtroom, which was my instruction from the very, very beginning.
What made this trial different?
I think it started off bad. And it started off bad with the doxing and the swatting of the judge and the parties, the witnesses, and all that stuff. So I think it started off bad, and I'm going to attribute that to social media.
But the doxing and the swatting came from the Metcalf family, allegedly the one that you felt so much compassion for. Like, what the hell is this idiot? You know, he looks like a missing member of the LGBTQ community. I'm just wondering, when is he gonna come out? Because this man is full of bullshit. Like, he is full of so much bullshit that he's starting to get on my nerves. Like, seriously.
And I think social media got it wrong. And it is what it is. I think that's something we have to live with these days. But I think it's my responsibility and other judges' responsibility to make sure, no matter what's going on in social media, that someone can walk in a courthouse and get a fair trial.
Somebody can walk in a courthouse and get a fair trial. You piece of shit. What fair trial? What fair trial? Because let's just call it what it is. I'm sick of the few people saying this wasn't about race. It wasn't about race. It was all about race. This was all about race. Nothing else. What other reason would a 18-year-old, and can somebody tell me why they keep reporting his age at 19? He was 17 when it happened last year. How could he be 19? Why are they reporting incorrect information all and through the media? He keeps talking about witness information being leaked. That was a form of intimidation. Who do you think did it? Who do you think leaked the witnesses' information? Who did that? This was all about race. This was all about a Black kid with two good parents that loved him, showed him love. He knew how to conduct himself. He wasn't whooping on his daddy ass. He wasn't whooping on his mama ass. He didn't have a record of being kicked out of school. But for some reason, I believe that one of the reasons why this trial was not on TV is because there were so many things that he did not want the public to know. Hence, they stated that these guys' records, that allegedly he did not let it be entered in. Imagine the jury not knowing that these boys are, what did they say, trained jiu-jitsu? I don't even know what jiu-jitsu is, but isn't that like a trained fighter or something like that? None of that information came into the jury. None of it.
Did it make it very different when you realized a lot of your witnesses are young witnesses?
No, look, I've been doing this for 20 years. A lot of the witnesses come in all shapes and sizes and colors and all that. And so that was normal for me. What wasn't normal for me is to have those witnesses be intimidated by things being said on social media, because those young people.
The witnesses, who were intimidating the witnesses? Oh boy.
Rely on social media more than I certainly do. And so that sure impacted me, to make sure that they did not change their testimony. They were willing to come in and tell the truth without fear of being doxxed or swatted and stuff. And so I took every precaution that I could, consistent with the law, to make that happen.
I know Steve brought it up to you, and I know both sides probably brought it up as well. The AI images of people claiming to be inside this courtroom.
Yeah, that ticked me off a little bit, because if you're going to call yourself the press, then and people are going to depend on you to tell them what's going on in this courtroom, you should be telling the truth. And so
pay attention to what he's saying. So now he's going after the journalists. When people are in the court, he's basically saying they should tell the truth. This is how you know this guy is biased. If I report something and you report something, we are going to see two different things, because my report is different than yours does not make me a liar. So this is a judge. He seems to be upset because people reported on the things that they saw in this case. I'll give you an example. We had one blogger that stated that she saw the father, Jeff Metcalf, basically telling witnesses what to say. Well, then there was another one, and this was Law and Crime. They don't even know each other. Law and Crime said the same thing. Now, all of these stories came out. Seems like those are the type of things that he's angry about. So as a judge who is a person who's in the court, overseeing the case, why would you have a problem with that unless it really happened? Well, we know that it happened. I believe it happened, because I just don't believe that those two people just made that shit up. But why would this judge care You know what I mean? Like, why would he care about what two people said that happened? Why is he trying to paint a picture of what was being conducted in the court if it really didn't happen? That should kind of give y'all a kind of, some kind of indication that this dude is low down and dirty, okay?
Mr. Stoller, a public information officer, brought it to my attention that some news outlets were posting photos saying from inside the courtroom. And it wasn't my courtroom. It wasn't the witness. It wasn't their testimony.
So I got to stop him. I haven't saw anybody that posted any photos from inside the courtroom. So I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Keep in mind, no one was able to take a phone in there. So how would they post pictures from inside of the courtroom? Now, the individual that he referenced, I think he said the PIO or PCO. I don't know what that particular acronym stands for, but that particular individual was monitoring social media. So it's very interesting that people next to him and really close to him, why are they monitoring social media? I'll tell you why. Because when you can get a good gauge of what social media is saying, that pretty much can tell you what your jury would say. And I'm going to tell you why. Because who is the jury? The jury, they're made up of those people that you see on social media. So him saying that people were taking pictures saying that they were inside of the courtroom, I didn't see anything like that. I didn't see one comment or post that anybody said that they were taking pictures, because everybody that I saw said, heard, anybody, they couldn't take their phones in there. They said that. So do you see how he's trying to throw a monkey wrench to make it seem like everything people said that he didn't like, that they were lying, which again gives you the indication that this man is biased as hell. Because what he should have did, if he knew that these things were, happening on social media, because his person inside the court was monitoring social media, why didn't he fix it? Or why didn't he make a statement or something?
And that's tragic, because again, that just breeds the narrative that these people want to cultivate in our community to drive a wedge between us.
Who are these people? What people to drive a wedge between us? We had a wedge driven between us ever since you all tried to paint Karmelo Anthony as a thug when he's never been to jail. He has nothing on his record but good things. But you guys did not showcase that, because you wanted to paint him to be the monster that the Metcalf boys were.
And I think that's terrible.
Since we're on the topic of image, can we talk about some of the drawings of
Sure,
you during the sketch art?
absolutely.
What do you think? What do you think?
My wife would show me a drawing every once in a while of a court case going on. I couldn't figure out who the judge was. And it's all serious. The sketch artist was awesome. She was very sweet. She was here every day, putting her life's work into those images. Because we didn't have cameras in the courtroom, that's the only visual that anybody got. She did a marvelous job. I think I'm more handsome than what she portrayed overall, but I'll let everybody else figure that out.
Did the jury get it right?
Yeah, they did. You know why? Because they were picked based upon the law. They listened to the facts. They happened here in this very courtroom, and they got a verdict. And so that's the process. And whatever they say, they get it right.
There's going to be a lot of.
That's very interesting that a judge would say that, because he knows in cases, people request to, in this case, an appeal. But to say that the jury got it right, when there's tons of cases that the jury thought that they got it right and they didn't. So do you guys see how he has a strong bias and connection to this case? This is weird. And now I can see how they railroaded this Black kid. yeah, the jury got it right. First of all, why are you sitting down having an interview about this case? And even if you sat down and had the interview in which you're doing, it seems like you are strongly, very much strongly against the black boy. Okay. That is what it's giving to me. What y'all saying in the chat? Now, if you guys are just coming in, please make sure you like the video and hit that subscribe button.
Scrutiny over voir dire, and you excused, you denied the defense and the dismissing of 3 jurors who at least identified as African American on their bioforms. What did you make of that moment?
Well, that's not exactly how it works. The defense didn't dismiss them.
I'm sorry, the defense raised an objection.
They raised an objection. Yeah, they have raised an objection. Like I told you before, as long as I follow the law, I sleep well at night. And I'm telling you, I follow the law in that case. Did I know?
As long as he followed the good old boy's law, he sleep well at night. Man, get on up out of here. You had no black jurors. Are you stupid? What law are you following? The MAGA law? You are coming off extremely biased, F-U-C-K. We can hear it in your tone. We can hear it in your presentation. We can hear you say that you were basically emotional for the Metcalfs. What judge is going around giving interviews saying that he was emotional? Well, I mean, he looks like he's a part of the LGBT. I don't know, but yeah, that's not coming over very well.
Well, what the perception was going to be? Sure. I knew in the back of my mind what the perception was going to be, but I'm not here to satisfy perceptions. I'm not here to satisfy agendas. I'm not here to do any of those things. I'm here to follow the law.
Well, he's not here to satisfy agendas as long as it's the MAGA agenda. And the reason why I keep saying that, because the individual who was pretty much arrested, and I want to kind of go into that just a little bit, because the guy that was arrested for terroristic threats on Karmelo Anthony's life, he was saying it right in front of the police. The only reason why he was arrested is because they kept pushing for this guy to get charges. So I don't know I do know what agenda this guy is talking about. I do know. He's there to follow the sundown town laws. Now, y'all know I just recently learned what that word was because somebody had put it in my chat a couple of months ago. So if you don't know what a sundown town is, let me know in the chat. A sundown town. Exactly.
And I did it to a T, and I'm proud of that. Very proud of that.
Is this your last big trial?
It's my last big trial. The sad part about it is, I will tell you before I leave at the end of the year, I'll try a couple more murder cases, for example. The parking lot won't be full. The gallery won't be full of people watching the case. But we still have somebody who's died and someone accused of doing the killing. And it won't draw the attention that this case did. And their death is no less tragic than the tragic death of the young man in this case. And so, big trial.
The tragic death of the young man in this case. Was it tragic? I mean, it was like a poke you out of there. So I don't know if that would be considered tragic. Do y'all see how he's sympathizing so much with one person? Yes, hopefully this will be able to be used for Karmelo's appeal. This man is full of shit, you know. There was an attorney here on YouTube that stated that she had been in his court and she didn't say anything nice about him either. This man is a racist. I mean, listen, I've been around for a long time. I know y'all think that I'm all that young, but honey, I'm 51 and this motherfucker is giving everything that racists give. He's giving it right there. This is what it looks like. If you wanted a picture of what a racist person looked like, Go ahead and clip it up right there. There you go.
I guess from an outsider's perspective and the social media and the media interest in the case, but crime still happens in Collin County, and every single person deserves to have as fair of a trial that Karmelo Anthony had.
Oh, Karmelo Anthony.
What's your take on
fair trial? You know, I believe that this interview for him was to laugh in the Black community face. You tight suit wearing LGBTQ, you're missing from your community. You need to go back there because you are clearly going to be coming out soon, sir. You know, you're sitting up there looking like you wear heels at night, okay? You're sitting up there looking like somebody, bitch. That's what you look like, okay?
on Karmelo Anthony?
I don't know. I really don't know.
You've had a lot of defendants in your courtroom.
I have had a lot of defendants in my courtroom, and I talked to Mr. Anthony a couple times because I'm legally required to go over some things with him. He seems like a nice young man who committed a crime.
He seems like a nice young man. Oh, that was hard for you to push that out. He seems. No, motherfucker, he don't seem like a nice young man. He is over and above a nice young man. Okay. He seems. Oh, that was hard for him to push that out. He seems like a nice young man. No, he don't seem like no fucking nice young man. He come from good parents. He got a good GPA. He doesn't have anything on his record. He ain't going around breaking people's arms, legs. Yeah, he seems like a good old black boy. Did y'all catch that? He seems. Look at his face when he had to get that out. He seems. He pushed that out. He seems. Look at his face. Oh, he didn't want to say that one. He seems. Oh, y'all, this is good. He seems like a good old black boy. Good old black. What?
And he understands today, more than any day before today, the consequences of committing a crime like he did.
Oh, committing a crime like he did. He seems. Let's rewind that.
Who committed a crime, and he understands today, more than any day before today.
Let's go back.
You've had a lot
where he say he seems. I got to hear that again.
A lot of defendants in your courtroom.
I have had a lot of defendants in my courtroom, and I talked to Mr. Anthony a couple times because I'm legally required to go over some things with him. He seems.
Look at that shit. How can you say he seems? Huh? You describing him like you describing Cheyenne Bryant's no damn degree that she can't find. He seems? What the you mean he seems? He seems. Huh? He seems. No, he doesn't seem like shit. Everything about him is perfection. He seems. This kid, I think this happened in April of last year. He still was able to maintain his GPA. That is after going to jail, after his family being harassed. Oh, he don't seem like nothing. He is given everything that he is, and that is what you people hate. You know what these folks hate about us is they can't ever seem to get us down, because even when we go down just a little bit, we still go back up, and a lot of times we pass their ass up and they just can't take it, because what he doesn't seem to understand is, damn, this kid went through all of this and he still maintained his GPA. He still was able to do all of these things. But yeah, we got these bullshit ass twins over here who, society tells you that, white is right, but they musty ass can't seem to get it right. And we got a whole community of white folks that's saying that the white is right, but yeah, they seem to can't get it right. But he seems like he is an okay person.
Like a nice young man and I talked to Mr. Anthony a couple of times because I'm legally required to go over some things with him. He seems like a nice young man who committed a crime, and he understands today, more than any day before today, the consequences of committing a crime like he did.
Last question.
Yes, sir.
Karmelo Anthony did not just randomly put his hands on somebody. You put your hands on him. So did he commit a crime or did he defend himself? You got two beastie, stinky, musty ass white boys that know jiu-jitsu. From what everybody is saying, they bullies. They're saying that allegedly they whooped their daddy ass. All of these things that they're saying about these boys, and you're talking about he committed a crime. I want to know, who is Dr. Candace Matthews? Because you guys keep putting that name in my chat. Forsaken 860. He knows Dr. Candace Matthews is coming for that ass. I wonder, did they give him this case so he can't be discarded or come under review? Now, I don't know if you guys, obviously you guys don't watch every video, but this judge, he got a shady ass pass, okay? I did a video in which this guy was reprimanded for doing shady shit in his court. Let me tell you what he was doing. He sold a book. I'm not sure if he's still married, but when he did this book, it stated that his wife was also an attorney. Well, they were utilizing the court for their own personal gain, and they got a bunch of damn complaints. He's shady. He's very shady. Yeah. This man was reprimanded by the State Commission of Judicial Conduct. Yep. Yep. Oh, Dr. Matthews exposed the judge and DA. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, listen, I got this thing that I got going on, and I can smell and see bullshit. Like, this is bullshit. Look at his posture. He said Karmelo Anthony seemed. Did Karmelo Anthony seem like he was a good kid? No, he is. There's nothing seemingly about nothing about him. Did you guys see this? And listen, guys, they sentenced him the same day. You know, generally when you're going through sentencing, they allow you a week or 2 weeks or something. They wanted to ship him up and out of here as fast as they could. Okay. Yeah, this is. She's already there. She's airing it all out. Are you talking about the doctor? How can I find this lady that you're talking about? Dr. Matthews. I think this is who you're speaking of. Angel Jones 9419. You said she's already there. Are you talking about the Dr. Matthews? Is it Matthews that you guys keep putting in the chat? But look how he totally is basically saying, so he's essentially, okay, somebody says she's on YouTube. So he's essentially acting like this self-defense claim ain't shit. I mean, do you guys see his posture? This tells it all right here. His movements, everything that he's saying is everything. Dr. Matthews has a video out on YouTube exposing him and the DA. Is the channel called Dr. Matthews? Because I'm going to look for it. It's her. I don't know who Dr. Matthews is. I keep seeing what you guys are saying. I wanted to see what her channel was, but I don't know like who she is.
Future of the justice system. What do you think about it when you realize you have all these social media influencers and citizen journalists?
I don't know. I hope that the judges that hear cases, period. I was about to say high-profile cases, but that's not it. It's just any case. Realizes the importance of their job and their job.
You better realize the importance of your job so you can get these niggers in jail. What the fuck are you talking about? You didn't realize the importance of your job. You were only trying to get this black boy in jail. What are you talking about? They should realize the importance of their job. You didn't realize the importance of yours when you were doing illegal shit, using a court to sell your bullshit book, you and your wife, to the point that you got reprimanded. Are you kidding? You are a joke.
Job is to be fair to the state and to the defendant, and to protect the people that come before them and make just and right decisions based upon the law. And if we can do that, that's great. The influence of social media, I think, is going to continue to impact our communities everywhere. And I hope that we can rely upon our justice system to weed through the noise and find justice for everybody who comes through our doors.
This is a personal question I wanted to ask you.
Sure.
Do you understand why the legitimate media had to be a pain in your ass?
Legitimate media. There's this guy named 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐿, who I think was probably the worst of all of them. And no, I didn't understand how he could be that way. Look, I absolutely understand the media's role in all this. I mean, it's the First Amendment for a reason. It is absolutely the First Amendment for a reason. But at the same time, a defendant has a right to a fair trial, and the prosecution has a right to a fair trial. That's also in the Constitution. And so you just have to balance all those interests. And I'll honestly say, I think I balanced it well. And I know I made people mad, but I'm not here to make them happy either. I hope that the Metcalfs think that their son got a fair trial in this courtroom.
Why he keep sympathizing with one? Y'all hearing this? He's literally sympathizing again with the damn Metcalfs. Are y'all paying attention? This is the second time, or maybe the third time, that he is so sympathetic toward the Metcalfs, and he hopes that that white trash ass family got a fair trial. This is very concerning. Very concerning. A judge in a courtroom, he never said that, anything about Karmelo Anthony and his family feeling like they got a fair trial. He didn't say anything about that. Very concerning, to say the least. Now, I've been seeing you guys super chats. I will read it in a moment.
As do I hope that the Anthony family thinks their son got a fair trial in this courtroom. I certainly think he did.
Did you feel the...
Oh, okay. Save them for last. You know that they don't think, you buster, that they got a fair trial. Their son has never been in trouble, never been in jail, unlike what they saying about them other folks. And the first time he does something, he get 30-something years. But did you guys see the case where the white boy, they said this white boy went in the bathroom and planned and unalived somebody in the bathroom and juked them multiple times? He only got 10 years. He got 10 years.
Pressure of the other courts not being able to operate too?
So, of course, they're independent elected officials. They can operate if they want to.
Yeah, and some of them have.
They have.
Virtually. Yeah.
They have. We were trying to cut down on the sheriff's duty to transporting back and forth and stuff. And so I asked them if they could modify the way they are operating in court. They could go to Zoom like we did for a long time. They could, pick days that we weren't here, like on that first Tuesday. But it's up to them. Okay. It helped a lot that they cooperated. And by the way, that's one of the messages that I don't think I've been saying enough, is what we did here was a well-oiled machine. I don't see, I've never seen a case.
Do you want that on the record?
Sure.
Okay. We're on.
Okay. The case that we tried here in Collin County was a well-oiled machine. I mean, Collin County, it should be the model for high-profile cases from here on out. And that's,
If you don't get your bitch ass up off here, listen, in Georgia, we don't do the bullshit that you do. No, we would never model a racist place, because down here in Georgia, we run shit. Okay, so we don't operate how you do. Okay, now there is some little racist places in Georgia as well, you know, if you go far out there north. But one thing I can say about Georgia, a lot of these places, you know, you're gonna see Black people. We would never model your racist ass town or anything that you have going on, sir. So you can keep that shit right down in Collin County, Texas Rangers.
because we started 8 months ago, and I met with anybody from facilities to IT to the audiovisual people to the sheriff's office. We constantly came together and met to make sure that Collin County was going to be a focus for a minute. And we wanted to make sure that everybody understood that, number one, don't come around and mess with Collin County. And because we're here for a job, that job is to make sure that everybody gets a fair trial.
So basically what he just said, he said Black people stay out of Collin County, because what does he mean? Don't come around messing with Collin County. Yeah, that was for Black people. What the hell does that mean? Don't come around here. Black folks, don't come to Collin County doing this type of shit, because we just sent a 18-year-old kid with no record, no priors, good grades. He did everything right, but we just sent his ass to prison for 40 years. So don't you bring your Black ASS around here, because first of all, if we just sent a perfect person to prison, don't bring your blemished ass record over here, because we're going to give you life. Okay. See, y'all got to listen to what he's saying. What the hell does he mean? Don't come to Collin County. Nobody wants to be in Collin County. I don't even know why Black people would even move to a damn place called Collin County. See, I live in Georgia for a reason. You couldn't pay me to live in a state with a bunch of rednecks. You couldn't pay me to live there.
Everybody's safe. And we wanted to go seamlessly. And facilities to IT, to the audiovisual people, to the sheriff's office, we constantly came together and met to make sure that Collin County was going to be a focus for a minute. And we wanted to make sure that everybody understood that, number one, don't come around and mess with Collin County. And because we're here for a job, that job is to make sure that everybody gets a fair trial and everybody's safe. And we wanted to go seamlessly. And one thing that does worry me a little bit is people go, oh, this was a 5-day case with the evidence. 5-day case, it must have been cut and dry. I don't know if that's true or not. It was 5 days because I wasn't wasting anybody's time. Our community needed to heal quickly. They needed this case over.
Our community needed to heal quickly. Our community, I believe, is some kind of secret MAGA shit that they don't like Black folks. Our community needed to heal quickly. What your community needs to do is tell your kids to keep their fucking hands to themselves, because you don't just put your hands on Black folks thinking because you white that you're going to get away with it. Keep your MFing hands to yourself. Train your funny looking ass kids to keep their hands to themselves, because we don't feel sorry for Austin. We don't give a fuck about Austin at all. We don't care. Keep your hands to yourself. If you do that, you wouldn't have to worry about healing. Because just like you stated that Karmelo Anthony was somewhat an okay person, let me kind of tell you what we feel about the Metcalfs in Austin. We feel like that they're trailer park trash. And in all honesty, him being gone, that's to me a good thing, because we don't have to worry about a thug, because that's what he was, a thug. I mean, everybody is saying that he was a bully. They're saying he beat his father ass. We don't mourn people like that. We just don't. I mean, we don't see it for you, just like you don't see it for us. You see, it's an equal trade-off with me because I know some people have white fatigue. I'm just not one of them. I don't have white fatigue.
One way or another, but the case had to be fair first. But we accomplished that. But it was a gargantuan effort by every single person involved in Collin County and outside Collin County. And so we're very, very proud of our county, all of our employees, all of our elected officials, all of our judges, everybody in getting this case tried quickly because our community needed it to heal.
Thank you.
Y'all heard it. His community needed to heal quickly. You think I'm going to wait till you hurt me and put your hands on me? You don't think I'm going to wait till I pass out? Absolutely. We don't give a fuck about them folks. I know I don't. I'm not going to sit up here and fake and pretend that I do, because I don't. Just like y'all don't give a damn when the Asian man shot that boy in the back. You don't care about us. It's okay, because I don't give a fuck about y'all either. I don't feel nothing for that family. Nothing. The only family I'm concerned about is Karmelo and his family. It's this delusion of reverse racism and the imaginary assault on white people they keep yelling about. Karmelo, whether he know it or not, he saved a lot of kids and people from that thug Austin. We praying for you, Karmelo. We are. Now, my guess, and this is why I don't like doing interviews with people, because they cancel, and I absolutely hate it. But I'm just going to tell you guys who he is. He texted me and said that he couldn't make it, so I figured I would start the stream off by showing that video, and then because I figured if he was running late, then he could just jump on when he was done. But we're like an hour and 15 minutes into it, and he texts. I said, listen, we're still on the stream, so you can still jump on. So let me kind of tell you who I had. I'm not going to say his name because we still have people, people can still subscribe and still be in the chat, and then they don't even have to subscribe to actually see the stream. So I'm not going to say his name, but I had an individual who was very familiar with the case and the family. He had also been targeted. Remember how this judge just came on and made it seem like Collin County was everything? Well, what he was going to speak to is that the family was actually bamboozled. They didn't know what was going to happen. And ultimately, they pretty much walked into a trap is what he was going to basically come up here and say. Now, another thing that he was going to talk about, again, you see how this judge tried to make it seem like everything is copacetic and we got it all together. Well, there is a lady that is working in conjunction with them, and her name is Sarah. Okay. Now, you have heard me mention this lady, Sarah, because people keep telling me about this lady, Sarah, but they're saying that Sarah works in conjunction with them. And this guy also had an experience with Sarah. Okay. So as much as this judge tried to make it seem like they're on the up and up, it seems like they're just a bunch of racists that wanted to make sure that Karmelo Anthony paid. Okay. Now, when I say that his parents felt like they had been bamboozled, I don't know if you guys had the opportunity to watch his parents interview. I'm going to bring it up. I cannot put it on the screen simply because it is on the Breakfast Club, and y'all know I cannot play the Breakfast Club content. But what I want to do is I want to bring it up on the screen so I could at least let you guys see, because maybe you haven't saw it. Again, I can't show it, but I want to show you the screen. So just give me a moment. I want us to listen to this if you guys are okay with it, because in this interview, we have really, now we're starting to see the Anthony family speak their truth. And in all honesty, you know, I wouldn't have gave a fuck what that judge said. What you gonna do? Because I'm talking about my child. Fuck you, okay? Because I believe if they would have gotten their story out, maybe the outcome would have been different. But then I don't know, because they had a bullshit attorney to start, you know, to pretty much start with. So the Anthony family, mom and dad, they did this interview with the Breakfast Club. And then what you guys will see is the mother actually leaves because she gets a call from Karmelo. So let's just play the audio of that.
I'm sorry, baby, for cutting you off. Good morning, both of you, Drew and Kayla. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. How are you guys holding up?
Right now we're in a nightmare. Doesn't feel real.
Can you guys hear?
We've been up all night, crying, praying, waiting for family to come in. We have some family who has made it. We just right now lost words, waiting for him to give us a call as soon as possible.
So you haven't heard from him just yet?
We heard from him yesterday. He actually suffered from seizures, so we actually have to bring his medicine to the courthouse. So we're waiting for him to give us instruction to get there.
We know Karmelo from the courtroom, but tell us, who is he? What kind of person is he? What kind of son is he at home?
He is a wonderful son. He's a wonderful student.
I like what somebody put in the chat. This is a great comment. I'm going to highlight this comment because people keep saying, well, why they family did this? Every Black person is not familiar with the legal system. Every Black person don't know how lawyers work. They were not familiar with the legal system. They ain't never been through a legal system. They're not even from Texas. So they did not know. They didn't know. The mama ain't been to jail. The father ain't been to jail. They had no idea about the legal system. So you guys think that, you know, when you start judging and saying, well, why didn't they do this or why didn't they do that? Because they didn't know. Every Black person ain't familiar with the legal system.
3.7 GPA, worked 2 jobs.
I'm sorry, baby, for cutting you off. He's actually taking online classes during all of this and still held a great GPA going through this traumatic time.
He was a kid. If I didn't say it, he was a captain of a track team, football team. He was working 2 jobs. He actually saved the kid's life. That the mom, he jumped in.
How you sentence somebody to 35 years, never get anybody on the stand to talk about their accolades. Now, I don't want to get too much into this part because I'm saving it for another video. Some of you all were saying, why didn't they have any expert witnesses? Why didn't Karmelo have anybody to take the stand? I'm going to save this part for another video because there's another interview out there. And what is stated is that they actually paid for expert witnesses and that they actually had other witnesses to testify on behalf of Karmelo Anthony. They never were called. Now, I just want to drop that bombshell on y'all so that y'all can understand. So when this family is doing this interview, they're talking about being kind of bamboozled because they don't know how the legal system works. Like they didn't know. So although they had these people on, to be called, at some point, the defense rapped. The attorney set them up, and I'm going to do a video about that. Set them up, took their money, didn't call the experts, didn't do shit.
Pool, which and saved the kid life, which was amazing. I didn't know how great he was until this tragic. Tragic.
I want to add some things to that. At home, he loves cooking, whether it's in the kitchen, outside, grilling. He makes the best hibachi. He loves running routes and playing soccer with his younger brother, Kingston. He has a brother named Andrew. He's 12, and Andrew is into doing science experiments, and Karmelo loved helping him with science experiments. He loves putting Legos together with his girlfriend. He's just a lovable, sincere child.
Yeah.
You know, do you feel like the world, you know, just going through this trial got an accurate description of who Karmelo really is?
No, we've come to find out, which we were, before all this, we were a family that basically stayed to ourselves. We were very close knitted. My wife's at home. She stays at home. I was working, and we didn't know how cruel the world could be. They have his face plastered all over after he was, while he still was a minor.
They had his face plastered everywhere. I mean, they treated this kid as if he was a 4-time felon. They basically criminalized him. I mean, it was horrible. So, you know, they go into stating in this interview, you know, they had his face plastered everywhere. Y'all got to understand, if you just watch the interview and listen to them, these are easygoing people. They ain't never had no drama. You can tell, like you can tell. He goes into saying, listen, me and we've been together since high school. They don't know anything about this. He said, we didn't know how evil the world, you know, we know that this existed. Like we learned the hard way.
And it was like, everything was happening. We was getting threats. They doxed us. I was so clueless and so involved in work. I didn't even know what doxing was. They put our address online. And so we had people coming to our home. So we never had to leave in our home. Like they had us in some type of, like, what is it, protective thing, whatever, to get us, you know, to keep us safe with our other kids. The world right now, it sounds unbelievable, the things that he accomplished before this tragic accident. Like it will really mess you up. And as me being a father, I didn't.
Let me just stop for a moment because I needed to read this super chat. I advise everyone to look at Hunter's news interviews the day the incident happened. It throws out everyone who testified about Karmelo. They lied. Yes, we talked about that. Yep, they changed the stories. And in this interview, they talk about that. They basically say they lied. They lied. That was something that the defense attorney should have highlighted, and he should have drove home. He wasn't doing shit in that court. Like he was clearly working against this family. Now they'll also get into why they selected a white attorney. Keep in mind, Collin County, I think they said is 10% Black. So with it being 10% Black, it's going to be a little bit harder to find Black attorneys because the whole population is only 10% Black. What they stated in this interview is the reason that they actually selected the white attorney because they were told that in order for them to effectively work with the racist Collin County, that attorney is going to have to be white.
Like him saving a life. I just, as a father, I got caught up in, hey, that's what you're supposed to do. That's your expectation. You know, being a man, hey, that's what we do. We move on. Like him working, hey man, you're supposed to have a job. I was trying to, he was, you know how it is, they're young. I was like, with your girl too much, man. You need to get a job, get a hobby. So he's working, but I kept him busy too. And this whole situation, the reality of this is that somebody literally walked in his life. Literally walked into his life. He did everything by the law, and look where we at.
I want to go back to that day, that track meet. Were you guys at the event, at that track meet on April 2nd?
No, we were not. I was actually supposed to go to the track meet, but the weather was so bad, I just stayed home. It's like, Mama, don't come, just stay home. And now, looking back on everything, I wish I was there. I regret not being there for my child.
When did you hear the news that there had been an incident that day?
I received an email saying that there was an incident, no phone call, no anything.
You know,
my instinct was because Karmelo, he's the type of child to let me know it.
I'm glad you put that in the chat because I was just saying this. They're putting all of this bullshit out there saying that Karmelo is gonna be hurt in prison. Them brothers is gonna treat Karmelo like a king. Ain't nobody effing with him in jail. Y'all gotta understand. Listen, y'all have to understand the way the prisons work. The only people who get their ass whipped in prison are people that do stuff to children, people that do stuff to women, people like that. Karmelo is like a king in prison. For one, he was protecting himself. And the brothers in prison, they're not going to like the fact that a person of his age did everything by the book and that he is in prison. You ain't gonna be able to F with him in there. So all of this bullshit that they're saying, ain't nobody fucking with him there. All them brothers in there is they gonna stand 10 toes down and they gonna protect him. So all that bullshit that they putting out there, these MAGA racists, they gonna go around and get they split messing around with him. Y'all understand that to be true. My brother is in prison, unfortunately, but luckily he is in the same one Melo was just transferred to. He said everybody there is aware of the situation and they are looking out for him. Exactly. That's what I keep trying to tell people. Ain't nobody messing with him. He ain't got shit to worry about because listen, the people in prison, they know more shit than we know. They already waiting for him. They already know the bullshit that's going on. He ain't gonna have no problems. He's not gonna have any problems. He's not going to have any problems at all. I'm telling you, he ain't gonna have no problems because typically what happens in prison is you get the old heads. You got people in there that they just stay in prison, honey, and they run the prison. But everybody in there is not a effed up individual. There are people there that's gonna stand 10, 11 to 12 toes down. Ain't nobody messing with him. It ain't happening. It's not gonna happen. That was a good question or a good statement that you put in there.
Everything that's going on, and it wasn't like him to not call me and tell me what was going on. So when I received the email, we have Life 360. So I went into Life 360. I'm like, wait, they said the buses made it.
So I want you guys to listen to what she's saying, and then I'm going to read this that's on the screen. Because from the beginning of what happened with her son, they wasn't reaching out to her. She was getting the runaround. She literally had to go on her own intuition to find out what had happened to her son. Okay. And then I'm going to read this one that we got on the screen.
Back to the school, but Karmelo location is still stating that he's at the stadium. Like, what's going on? So I headed to the school, and that's how I found out what happened.
And how I found out, I was actually in a work meeting, and when she first called me, I thought it was because it was right after April Fools. I was like, oh, y'all playing this because he doesn't, this is not him.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, you playing? All right, or whatever." But she was like, "No, he was involved in the stabbing." So when we heard that, I didn't know what happened at the.
So the father is saying we thought it was a bad joke because this is not his son. Like, he don't get into altercations. This is just like, somebody call you or your kids call you and tell you something and you be like, get off my phone, quit playing with me. I do it a lot and I hang up because I'm like, y'all stop playing. I don't got time. So basically what he's saying is, yeah, this didn't really happen for real, but it really happened for real.
At the time, and they kept us from everything. Like, they kept us, so we running around from place.
They kept us from everything. Karmelo is a minor. How is it that he has been caught up in this situation? First thing you're supposed to do is call his parents. This is a minor. They kept us from everything.
Place to place, and it was a very. Everything was just moving so fast that day. I never forget. It was just like everything. And once we found out and he went to his bond hearing. The next day, somebody doxed us. I don't want to say that name, but a lady started making this. They try to blame it on one person, not me.
Okay, so he talks about doxing their information. Now, some celebrities donated financially and are helping this family, and that's correct. Find the best lawyer to help with their appeal case. Some people want to remain anonymous, absolutely, because I know somebody that's supporting them financially simply because these folks went up to the husband's job. Keep in mind, Kayla is a stay-at-home mom, got the father fired from his job. Like, how can you even, if you wanted to feel compassion, how could you feel compassion for monsters like that? Like, you're attacking the mother and the father. They didn't tell him to go out and do that. Why are you doing this to them? So yes, there are people that's helping them. And in the end, they will have a victory. But what we should learn from this, we need to stay out these folks' neighborhood. If it's 10% Black people, don't you be that 10% Black person that's living in that motherfucker. Don't live there. Don't live there. Look how they bamboozled this family. Look how they did it.
Talking about race, but you had this lady that went on to talk about white lives and all this other stuff, and now it went boom. The race card started about that's how Jake Lane and all these other guys got involved in this. But at the end of the day, this was a kid situation that a lot of adults made it about their personal, how they really wanted to feel. This is the time they wanted to show on this is how we really feel about y'all. And they used my son for example.
This is how we really feel about you niggers, okay? He said, but they used my son. Y'all, this was two kids that got into it. It could have went through the judicial process, even in the situation where, Karmelo Anthony basically claimed self-defense. What if, if he was given a fair trial and they basically said it wasn't self-defense? Well, why in the hell is he getting 35 years or whatever? There was other options. He didn't try to kill this kid. I mean, even if you didn't go to the trial, you know that because the coach testified. There were people that testified that were authentic and that were truthful. Why would he get a murder trial? That is saying that you intentionally did it. Why? Why did they do that? I'm just saying, when you talk about a fair trial, he didn't get a fair trial. Murder? Come on now. How do you just go ahead and murder somebody you don't know? You planned it. How do you plan to off somebody you don't know? I don't know how that's possible, because in order to plan it, you got to know. Yeah, they basically used their son to avenge the hate that they really got for Black folks.
What did Karmelo tell you happened that day at the track meet?
I mean, he was sitting there seeing his friend. Once you get the reports and everything, he was actually his girlfriend's cousin invited him to the tent.
Mhm.
So when they invited him to the tent,
now in court, they said that he was there and he wasn't supposed to be there. But I mean, using our own damn common sense, we know that he had to be invited because remember, they said soon as he came in there, he dapped up the girlfriend's fake cousin or whatever. But then this dude got on the stand and lied. It made it seem like he didn't know Karmelo. Now, one thing the defense did that was right is he was able to bring out those pictures and said, yeah, you did know him. You know, you pretended like you didn't know him, but you have all of these pictures. He's over your house. He's at your grandmother's, event, and y'all are doing all of these things together. But you're sitting up here saying that you don't know him. We know that that was a lie.
just, hey, what's going on, such and such. It was raining. He sat there. Then next you know it, you had these two guys who approached him. Even seeing the video in court, it was like, I know y'all see this.
You see what he said? Even seeing the video in court, he like, I know y'all see this. He says Karmelo is sitting there and two guys approached him. Who y'all think those two guys are? Who do you think they are? Them little nasty Metcalf boys. Who else would it be?
I know y'all see this. And we got comfortable with the instructions that we was told. We was told not to say nothing. We was told not to do this. So we did everything we did. We followed all instructions that we were told. Hey, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Hey, don't talk to this person. Don't talk.
So basically what the father has said is we was pretty much told don't talk to nobody. But what they have learned is the reason why they told. So the narrative that they gave them, oh, don't talk to anybody. We don't want you guys talking to anybody because we want to make sure that this thing moves smoothly. We want to make sure that you have a fair trial. But no. The reason why they did not want them to talk about it, because the less they talked about it would be the less that we will remember about it. When you keep seeing things repeatedly, you remember and you start researching, you start talking about it. But if they not talk about it, if they don't do interviews, another thing it allows them to do, it allows them to paint the narrative that they want. But again, we can't blame this family because they had no experience with attorneys. They wanted their son to get a fair trial. And by being told, listen, don't say anything, because if you say something, you're going to jeopardize your son having a fair trial. They listened to it. But now they're realizing, listen, we listened to this shit and they done gave our son 30-something years. So now they're thinking back and now they understand that they were tricked and set up.
This person, it was all this. And look what happened to my son.
It sounds like you wish you had talked more, that you had said more, that you had got your story out more.
I call myself trying, sometimes you could do the right thing, but it could be the wrong thing.
Did Karmelo want to get his story out more to the public as well?
He was trying to listen. He was trying to listen to what he was being advised.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, don't make it about race. Don't do this. Don't do this. So we was like, all right, we'll go. Again, we played the game.
So I see you guys keep putting in the chat about Hunter's videos. Now let me kind of give y'all a little caveat to Hunter's videos. Did you see Hunter in the court? No, you didn't see Hunter in the court. Didn't you find it very odd that this narrative lie that they've been, pumping, telling us, oh, he died in his brother's arms. His twin brother lost his twin. But you didn't see that son of a show up in court not one time. Why do you think he never showed up in court? Because if he would have brought his ass to court, everything that he has done, everything that he has stated would have been up for, they can talk about it. But what they can't do is they can't talk about Hunter's interviews. They can't talk about, any past, anything that he's done in school. Well, I don't know, because perhaps the judge maybe told them they cannot bring up anything as it relates to any criminal thing that they may have done in the past, or, maybe the judge gave them that instruction. But the moment that he would have took the stand, they could have asked him, hey, why did you say this? In your earlier interview, you said it was your brother in you. So that's why y'all didn't see Hunter, because Hunter lied so much. He told so many different stories that the prosecution probably told him to stay out of the court. And also, I believe that there was something stated that he had been subpoenaed. I don't know if that's true, but partially the reason that y'all didn't see Hunter, because if Hunter would have took that stand, he could have been questioned.
We did everything a law-abiding citizen supposed to. They told us don't do this. We did everything we supposed to. And he wanted people, of course he wanted somebody. They got pictures of him being 17 with a dress on, saying he'll be raped in jail. Like all kinds of these adults are talking about this child, but nobody's seeing it. Nobody's seeing it. So we can't say anything. The other family, they go.
So basically he's saying that people, and this is how these are sick individuals. And this why I don't like their ass. I don't like racist people. When I tell you I don't like them, I don't like them. I don't like their kids. I don't like their grandmama. I don't like them, period. Okay? Period. Now, what he's getting into is describing is that I guess there were some pictures that they were putting online saying these things are going to happen to Karmelo. Ain't nobody effing with Karmelo. So get that out y'all head. Get it on out your head. Them brothers ain't gonna let nothing happen to Karmelo, and I believe that he is going to be okay.
Paint this lie that nobody still exposed, that he died in his brother's arms, and it was all.
That's not true, because that is the narrative. Yeah.
No, you never heard it no more. That other stuff was a lie. You heard about a bag. You never heard about a bag since trial. That's what I was telling people. A lie is temporary, but the truth lasts forever. It's just now, it's like harder now. I gotta fight to get the truth out. He basically had to get the book thrown at him, 35 years. And this county that basically, I honestly feel as though that they manipulated us with a smile. They act as if they cared, but they really didn't. When they won the jury selection, we seen all the people with the jury selection. I was like, baby, this is not right. But my wife is the type of person, I'm not gonna just say us, we're both the type, we try to be positive. Hey, we're not gonna look at it. That's not what it is. That's not us. That's what it was.
So even when you noticed there were no Black jurors, it gave you pause. It made you want to say something, but you were still going along with the process.
Yeah, I was going along with the process because there's a lot of times, and I hope this don't be controversial, but that's the first thing they do is they try to say we're emotional. We don't follow instructions, right? So we did everything that we was advised and told to do, and look what happened.
So who was they? You said that they told you. Who was they? Was it your defense attorney?
Yeah. So
I do want to address something, because I don't know if it was totally Charleston White advice, because I've heard from 3 different people that say the same thing, and they say the same thing as what they're saying. That keep in mind, they're not from Texas. They moved from, I think it was Louisiana to Texas. They talked about, they wanted to have a better life. Right. So they moved. Good for them. They are not familiar with this city, but they were told, and she will say it in this interview, to get a white attorney. Yes, Charleston White admits that he definitely was one of the people that said that. Charleston White was crying on a live. I have that video. Go check it out. I did it yesterday. But in that video, Charleston White was crying because he said he told them. Now, I won't say that they solely took Charleston White's advice, because it wasn't just Charleston White. They were told by multiple people. And I believe it was because this town was considered racist. let me kind of break it down like this. If you're dealing with racist people, sometimes you can get stuff done by using a white person because they're racist. Okay, send one of they people over there. So it makes sense. Okay, so unfortunately, when people are extremely racist, they'll be racist to a black person. So I kind of understand where she's coming from, but it wasn't just Charleston White. But Charleston White did say that he felt horrible by the suggestions that he gave the family. He was crying. He said he told the family that, it was an all-white jury, but it may turn out to be a good thing. So he was definitely sad about, some of the things that he had told them. Keep in mind, they don't know, and they look extremely young. I don't know what their age is, but a lot of times you don't have experience with attorneys, or you don't know anybody that has went through difficult legal matters. You don't know that these attorneys will take your motherfucking money and sell you a bunch of dreams. Y'all have to understand that they had over $600 and something thousand in their account. Now, some people, a narrative was put out that they had used the money, and that's a lie. The money was used on their attorney. Okay, when you set up those funds, it goes to whoever if you say attorney, that is what it's used for. So what Charleston White did say in his call is that because they had so much money, they were really targets too, because y'all know how people are. When you got like 600 and some thousand, yep, I'm gonna represent you. How much you charge? Oh, it's gonna be $500,000. I don't know what they paid for an attorney, but they did pay. Some people are spreading rumors saying that they got a public defender. And I'm just like, some lady was saying this on her post. I said, well, if you had $650,000, I asked her, I said, could you get food stamps? A public defender is a form of public assistance. You cannot get a public defender with you probably couldn't get a public defender with $6,000. They gonna tell you to, use your $6,000, and then after it run out, come back. You cannot have that kind of money and get a public defender. They didn't have a public defender. And I'm going to talk about that in another video, because another person that was closely working with them stated, no, they did not have a public defender. They had a paid lawyer.
We were, because about him being 18, so what they did was they kind of played everybody against everybody. You could say, I'm not going to say they played us against each other, but it's almost they had him scared, like, hey, this, I'm a lawyer, this. So as me being a father, all right, you're the guy, I'm okay with playing my position, and I don't want to overstep any boundaries. Everybody kept saying, hey, to beat this. I even went to some black attorneys. They're like, oh, you need a white attorney to go out there to fight out there. Remember they was telling us that? They kept telling.
You see, what he's saying is people kept telling them, you need a white attorney, you need a white attorney. But what they're saying, I mean, honestly, y'all, when people are so racist, they will send black people on a whole wild goose chase. I'm just telling you. So that does happen. So people telling them you need a white attorney, they were saying that because that's a racist ass town. So they assume that if you get a white attorney, you'll be able to accomplish some stuff. But not necessarily so. You have to have an attorney. For me, I don't know if the race really matters, but I think in this case, I don't know. I can't say if a white one or, whichever, white or black, is going to be the best choice, because, I know some of y'all had put Brian Steele in the chat. Brian Steele is a white lawyer. And when I tell you he fought for Young Thug, like I never saw an attorney fight for any client like that, to the tune that when Brian Steele, the judge told Brian Steele he was putting him in jail, Brian Steele said, well, Your Honor, if you're going to put me in jail, I would just ask that you put me in a cell with Young Thug, because I still got to work on the case. And I said, man, please. Brian Steele is my type of guy. He said, listen, if you're going to put me in jail, can you at least send me to where Thug is? Because I'm still his lawyer and I still have to work on the case. And I was like, damn, Brian Steele is cold. So I really can't say, if the judge, if the lawyer should be white or black. I mean, white or black. I think it really depends on if this lawyer is going to fight for you. But what we have learned in this case is that they were sabotaged. Now, pay attention because he goes, into saying that everybody was telling him you need to get a white attorney. Think about if your child is in a situation, you don't know what to do. Everybody telling you get a white attorney. You're going to go get a white one because this is what they're saying. They're saying in order for my child to have a fair trial, I need to get a white attorney. I'm going to go get a white one too. I'm just saying I am.
Understand. So everybody like, why y'all didn't? Everybody was telling us, okay. So then when we get it, they basically tossed them over. A lot of objections wasn't done. It's a lot that wasn't done.
So do you believe your son received a fair trial?
No,
Absolutely not.
absolutely not.
Absolutely not. And we're gonna keep fighting.
Mm-hmm.
We will not stop
Mm-hmm.
fighting for justice for my son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard for us right now, and I've had my moments. And we want our children to do better, right? We look at our YNs. This wasn't a YN. So what we gonna do about this not YN? We can make more YNs. Now you got a kid, like I just told you, everything that we're telling you right now is verified. Mm-hmm. 2 jobs with the 𝐬𝐵 Foot Locker. That's who came to the buy-in.
You know that young when he say the YNs, he said he wasn't no YN. The parents are young. Old blacks that lived in Jim Crow era would have schooled this young couple. Eddie Mello's girl and witnesses were non-black.
GPA. He still graduated through all this. He still graduated high school. He still graduated. The lady the kid he saved, this stuff really happened. He was never in trouble, and no, he was never suspended for no knife. But they had, actually what I learned was they had a smear campaign that they did. I wasn't familiar with that. And a lot of people that we were reaching out with, I understand business. A lot of people, they got a lot of things going on. So we was reaching out, I was emailing, but everybody want to go through, it's kind of a circle thing, which I understand. But I realized through this, black entertainment is going to have to be, a black network is going to have to be done, because I'm looking for people who would never understand.
Yeah. No
matter how much you do it, no matter how much you do, they would never see it.
Mm-hmm. You're saying that as you were watching the trial, as you were in there, you didn't want to question the process. You wanted to let it play out. But was there at any point that you felt the outcome was heading in this direction?
Oh, I love it. Y'all, we got to go to this one. They are young and successful. The racists hate that most. Let me tell y'all something. Let me share a story with y'all. My children are grown now. So this would have been, shucks, I am just like, okay, let me see. I can't even recall the year, but I know my oldest son would have been in 6th grade. This was my very first time moving to Georgia, but I was only in Georgia for 6 months, maybe 6 months. Well, when we moved in our house, why the lady that went to the school, she was asking my kids, what your mama do? Where she work at? Yes, they be mad. They're trying to figure out where you get your money from. Oh, does anybody else live there? Yes, they're mad because you have a successful black couple. They're married. They don't look like they struggling. And you over there with your dingy, funny looking self. Your kids is crazy. Your house is crazy. But yet you got this black kid that is, he got good grades. He an athlete. He's driving a nice car. Yes. You know, for some reason, Black people only like to talk about other Black people. Say, oh, they're jealous. Oh, white people, they be jealous. For real, for real.
No. Everybody lied. Look at the report. Everybody, it's called what? It's perjury. Everybody did. Basically just did it with no, and they never was called out on it. I mean, literally they told within an hour when it happened, it was 2 to 3 people. When they got to the trial, it's, oh no, you know, it was, I'm like, wait, what? And don't get me wrong, the defense said, hey, did you say this here? Everybody. One girl made up a lie, said it was over a race. That my son walked up. This is how crazy this is.
Yeah.
One girl sat on the stand and said, yeah, he just walked up to him and said, what, you want to race? It didn't even make sense. Then they asked her, did you lie? She was like, mm-hmm. On the stand. Nothing happened.
Why didn't the defense?
So they're talking about how they were lying on the stand. Absolutely. Successful husband, stay-at-home mom. Karmelo had his own new car. They were struggling. They weren't struggling. No, they weren't. And they were putting out these false narratives saying that the people use the money that was donated to buy a house. That is such a lie. See, when they can't figure out where you got your money from, they just start lying. Leave these people alone. They've already said that the mother is a nurse. They don't need to explain to you what they do. So she is by profession a nurse, but she decided to be a stay-at-home mom. Not old struggling white man that look like he on alcohol. Okay, you're wondering, oh well, how are they doing it over there? You know, they'll have a problem with you because you're Black, and then they'll have a problem with you because you are doing shit better than them. So that's what the real problem is. If Carmelo Anthony and his family was bums like them, I don't think it would have been as big of a problem. But you can't be Black, successful, and then don't want to kiss our ass. Oh, I have a problem with that. Yeah, well, not I have a problem. Yeah, they had a problem with that.
Call more witnesses.
My department, and I apologize for that. I don't
No,
have
I'm just, you know, you know, as you look at it, and you know, I'm not an attorney, but I'm hearing you, and you're telling me all these wonderful things about him, and I'm just wondering, did the jury get to hear, you know, all of these wonderful things about Karmelo?
No, they didn't. Even when the one kid who was the corporate of all this, meaning the kid who invited him to the tent, he lied on the stand and said he didn't even know him. And they had
that part. Listen, the Metcalfs. Let's read this, y'all. The Metcalfs' parents are divorced. Now listen, they're divorced, and allegedly they said he was whooping her ass. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I heard. The dad is a nasty old man. SO, y'all know what that means. They sons are troublemakers. Their family is a mess. Yes, and they see this young Black successful couple who got everything. And listen, let me just tell y'all about Karmelo's father. He loves his wife. Any little breakdown she have, he is consoling her. I saw an interview that he did, and he was like, listen, when my wife is not right, I got to make sure she's right because she is in the house. Like, she's taking care of the house. I got to make sure she's right. All while you allegedly beating the hell out your ex. It was jealousy. There was a post that one of these blogs did where the brother, go find your motherfucking twin, is saying, I'm going to take everything away from you. What kind of weird ass people are these? Like, what? Why do they have so much hate and rage? Like, I could not give anybody that much of my attention. Why are you focused on what Karmelo has to the point that you're saying, I'm going to take everything away from you? Why don't you focus on getting something for yourself? So I thought that was really weird that but then after I heard his father, I don't know if y'all saw this before, but let's kind of divert because I want y'all to hear this. I want y'all to hear this. Since we're talking about these Metcalfs, I want y'all to see this because I thought this was really strange. The father finally comes out and tells us what we all knew. He's bitter, he's angry, he's mad. Y'all, let's get into this video. Now, this is courtesy of Secret Service Sam.
I'm here with some hardcore receipts on the Austin Metcalf Carmelo Anthony trial aftermath. Jeff Metcalf got on TikTok Live and showed you his completely racist side. For him to sit there and say this wasn't about race, and this video I'm about to show you gives you an idea into how these twins were raised and how we ended up here and how they were most likely talking to Karmelo. Look at what Jeff Metcalf had to say about slavery.
Even though they did wrong, you're going to support, you're encouraging and saying it's okay because he's a certain color. Oh, you've got more melanin than me. Ooh, so you get more privileges, more entitlement? Because 400 years ago, someone actually sold you to us, and we took you over here and put you to work. And then we had a civil war to free your ass. And now you want to talk shit? Oh, I've been so oppressed. You couldn't even vote 1960. Look how far you've come. Look at all the free shit we give you. You're not oppressed. You're fucking entitled. You know what DEI stands for? Yeah. It means I don't have to be fucking qualified. I just have to be a certain color or a race or gender. Whose broad-ass idea was that? I don't know about you, but when I grew up, there was no participation trophy. There wasn't a safe space created for me because my feelings were hurt. We had to take actual responsibility for our own actions. Wow, what a concept. If you want society to change, if you want a better place for your kids, then get involved.
Coming from a father that allegedly they're saying you was whooping the hell out of your ex-wife ass to the point that your kids whooped your ass, but you telling who to be in their kid's life. I don't even think your son even like you, sir.
In your kid's life, in your community, in your church, but don't sit on your couch and bitch when it doesn't go your way.
And what's crazy is in part of this video, he tries to say black fathers are not involved in their life. It's like 78% of y'all aren't even involved, when that statistic has been debunked. Black fathers are more involved in their children's life than almost any other race. Next, he has a Mark Wayne Mellon moment claiming to be Native American and goes on another racist rant. Look at this.
We are Native American. I have my Indian card and so do the boys. So if you want to talk about stolen land, yeah, that starts here. We were here before y'all were.
This ignorant is I'm laughing because these folks, they don't make, I mean, it's funny to me because it's crazy that you so mad, you bitter. So let's just play the game as if everything he said was true. So why you mad then? Okay, like, why are you mad? You mad because you hate yourself. You hate your life. You're pitiful. You're pitiful.
They took all our land and put us on a reservation. They just brought you guys over on a boat.
Let me guess, your Indian name is running around with big racist mouth bowl.
The next question is, are you satisfied with the sentence that Carmelo Anthony received? Do you believe Austin has received justice?
That's a real easy question for me to know. Hell no.
Hell no. Do you think you received justice? Hell no. You don't sit your fool ass down. I'm gonna address this this one in a second. But I want y'all to listen to what this idiot is getting ready to say, because what he's getting ready to say is that he don't want Karmelo to ever get out of jail.
What is justice? Justice for me is when Austin walks through that door and can hug me.
Austin ain't walking through that fucking door. Jesus will come back first. He ain't never, ever. And if you ain't figured that out yet, you need to go get your head checked. He won't be walking through no doors anymore because he decided to put his fucking hands on somebody. He ain't coming back. He ain't walking through no damn doors.
That's how long he should stay in jail, until my son comes back through that door.
He should stay in jail until your son come back through the door. That motherfucker ain't walking through no door ever again. So essentially, y'all, what he's trying to say is because his son is pushing up daisies because that's what you chose to do. Don't put your hands on nobody. Because here's the deal. Karmelo didn't try to take this boy out of here, but in a situation where you're getting into it with somebody, that could happen. You can literally have a fight with somebody and push them. They can hit their head on, something and be gone. So the fact of the matter is, your kids act like this, sir, because you act like this. You are a bully. You are a piece of shit, and they get it from their pappy.
Do I think justice was served? No. There's all types of justice. Street justice.
Oh, there's all type of justice. Street justice.
Legal justice.
Let me guess. Real street justice means strange fruiting someone like you good old boys used to do in the old days, and have picnics and make postcards. I'm sorry for anybody who was triggered by this video, but
I just wanted to bring that up since we were talking about the family, because he's essentially, basically, if he didn't tell y'all he was racist, I don't know what to say. Let me go back to this. There was a super chat. Let me see if I can find it, where somebody said, just give me a second. Praying for your son. I have a son also that was raised in Collin County. It was horrible for his childhood. I could imagine. All right, y'all, let's get back into this audio really fast. Now, if you guys haven't liked the video, please go ahead and do that. I really appreciate it.
Pictures with his grandmother. With his grandmother. Like, here's your grandmother, my son, your grandmother. Their whole family got multiple times, play basketball together, all kind of different things.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the witnesses' statements and stories were inconsistent. So we thinking that the jury is going to notice that. But they already had their mind made up when they sat in that courtroom. Their mind was made up already.
How big of a role do you guys believe that race played into how this case was publicly viewed and how this outcome, this sentence was handed down?
Race, politics, all that. I'm like, man, the kid don't even vote. How you got into it? There was a lady talking about the left side and the right side. Like, what? These are kids. They put I feel like you had a certain group that of course, they're going to blame us, that strategically made this about this because they knew.
I wanted to get to this one. This is the same individual who showed up at the Anthony press conference claiming he wanted to pray with them. Exactly. Yeah, he showed up at that press conference to scare and to intimidate them, just like his kids do. So yeah, and then lied and said, "Oh, I showed up because I wanted to pray with them." Well, how do you show up to someone's press conference, say that you're showing up to pray with them, but yet they never knew you were coming? And then he was just there standing off to the side, looking crazy. Yeah, he did do that.
They could do that smear campaign. Like they said, we went and bought a new car and house.
Yeah.
And it hurt me with all my people. My people really believed instead of them going and doing their proper research, they had people really bashing us. I'm like, y'all really believe that? Who could buy a house in 4 days? Buy a house in 4 days. I know we may sometimes we may not make the right decisions, but come on now, like that didn't even make sense. They said we was going on extravagant trips. There's a lot of things that they did to us that just,
There was a lot of misinformation that was going around, especially, in the beginning. And, I know your family had to move a couple times because you were doxxed. And, I can't even imagine how Karmelo going through that, trying to finish school, fighting, for his freedom. And you guys have other children, so much on you as parents. How's your other children handling this?
Now we had to end up taking them out of school because they had TikTok videos with my son with semen coming out of his mouth because there's him saying go get raped in jail. And it's just like, that was my daughter, my princess. She had to go through that. The other boys, we was in a pretty blessed community. That's why I hope a lot of people get this message. It don't matter where you at. It don't matter where you at. We was in the safest place, but it's like they're telling us that you could be assaulted, but you better not fight back. That's what this is what this case is saying. You don't care. It could be 2-3 people, size, it don't matter.
Yeah.
So that's what this case is really all about. The family is saying now, I just got a message, they saying they were robbed. Now they were robbed. Now, mind you,
They, as in the Metcalf family?
I just got this thing just popped up saying people are robbed. If we don't get the message now, and it's not because it's our child, we would never get it. Mm-hmm. This is the most crucial time ever, especially if you have kids. Because again, you see the child I'm telling you about right now, we all have kids like that. We sent them off to school. We sent them off just not looking for it. Again, he didn't go look for this. That's why they try to paint that picture. Mm-hmm. They painted the picture. And he didn't look for this. Just walked into his life. Literally, matter of fact, they say like this. The evidence shows he jumped 3 bleachers to get to him.
Now, so did the jury hear that information? And is that information on the video?
That's on the video.
And they had their minds made up.
Their mind was made up.
Already made up.
3 bleachers. Some say 1, some say 3, some say 5. Their statements was inconsistent.
So tell us, because we haven't seen that video. What did that video show?
The video showed, honestly, you can show that you can see him coming into the tent, sitting down, and then it's like it started getting a little, like you couldn't tell the people. But we're experts. Let me tell you what the DA did. They put a spotlight on the boys, right? So you could see them, right? But they never put a spotlight on Karmelo. And the reason why is because, of course, they was trying to make their side look Like, oh, it wasn't that bad of a push. The whole thing.
So what the father is saying, and I've heard this from different people, they in court when they showed the video, they only highlighted certain things. What he's saying is they showed, they highlighted Austin, I believe is what he's saying, but they did not show, or they didn't highlight Karmelo, because what he's saying is they're saying that it was like a push. He said, oh no, it was more than a push. So he said, and that is why they did not highlight him. So there was a lot going on in this video. Some people that were in the trial, they basically said that they kind of like, they had a person that spoke to the video, but the person also said that they were only supposed to highlight certain parts of the video. And that is what he's talking about.
Even the guy EP said in his statement, it was so bad to where it pushed him out the way. Because it's some pretty big kids.
Mm-hmm.
They're real big. They're bigger than me, actually. Mm-hmm. So it's like they tried to minimize their doing, but I've heard people who would supposed to be justice if in Texas, if I threaten you when I'm lying, you have the right to do whatever force if you fear for your life.
So the video showed, I'm sorry, go ahead, Kayla.
No, he said if you fear for your life or
seriously body home. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they were trained jujitsu fighters too.
Mm-hmm. And so the video that you all that they showed in court, it shows him running away from.
Yeah, he ran to the teacher. The teacher said that the teacher he ran to a guy, and the teacher he ran to actually he hugged him because Karmelo, he's not like that. He hugged the guy. Like he was freaking out. He hugged the guy. So the guy was hugging. He was crying hysterically, and they tried to paint it as if he was trying to leave. But then in court, they said it that he wasn't trying to leave.
Yeah. And did this teacher testify?
He did.
Yes. And he also said he had to stop another kid from jumping on Karmelo, which was, guess what? Supposed to have been a person that was his friend. The guy who, hey man, come on, look, hey, if you've been in high school, think about it. The guy who told you to come over here, you sit down, the same person who could have de-escalated the whole thing, he was trying to go after him. And that's the same guy that was playing like he was videoing, but they couldn't find the video.
So what the father is saying, that little bullshit ass friend that lied and said, you know, he wasn't friends with Karmelo, he seemed to be a hater of some sort. Because after, you know, Karmelo got away, that same friend was, you know, what he's saying is trying to fight him. So it was just a lot of things that happened in this trial. And listen, it was all rigged. It was set up to do exactly what it did. Y'all, we just watched the video of the dang on it judge. How weird was that judge? And how was he acting by sympathizing with one family while basically saying, yeah, Karmelo, he was okay. How do you say he was okay? He got down there a 4-point GPA, being under the amount of stress that he was under, and all you could tell us is how you sympathize with them old white folks.
He was the police didn't really even try to go through his phone. He even looked for the video. So he said he was acting as if he was recording.
Now, when he was running, was this before or after the incident happened?
It's after the incident.
This is after the incident.
Yeah, that's why they came up with I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
That's why they came up with the narrative that he
was running.
Yeah, he threw the knife. When he didn't throw the knife. His hand was cut. So this a lie that when you do the video show, if you ever been on high school bleachers, you're not on those.
Well, so we just banned one of these little racist folks. Yeah, this ain't the channel for you. I said this in a video that I did earlier. I don't welcome everybody to my channel. You got to go to them other channels. If you bring your fool ass over here, you get banned, you get blocked. Okay. Karmelo is not guilty. Take your racist narrative and stick it up your nasty behind. Okay. Thank you very much. The judge should have never done that interview with the case under appeal. I'm glad he did it because now we don't have to wonder. The judge was the ringleader of the bullshit. I mean, and he pretty much said it. He was retiring. So he's gone this year. At the end of this year, he's gone. He's not running for re-election. So it all makes sense. I'm glad he did this interview. I'm glad that the judge came out and did an interview. So now we understand exactly who he is. Like, I like when people do things that, you know, I don't have to now wonder, like, was the judge on bullshit? Absolutely, the judge was on bullshit.
Instead, you know, you try to run some back and try to run up, he failed. So what you think failed?
Mm-hmm.
He only went up, they caught it in 3 bleachers. It was like 3 bleachers up, 3 bleachers up. So when you can see him.
Exactly. Minimally. Like, the defense didn't even highlight nothing about Karmelo. They didn't highlight any of his accolades. Nothing. Even this interviewer is like we didn't, like we don't. What did y'all learn about Karmelo during this trial? I'm gonna tell you what I learned. That he killed Austin. That's what I learned. I didn't learn anything about his character. Nothing. And then again, I got another video that I'll do probably tomorrow, in which I'm going to go over the actual attorney and him being paid, and that, you know, there were supposed to be witnesses and expert witnesses that were paid, but for some reason he never called them. Yeah, the attorney, defense attorney, at some point he decided to turn over and sabotage this entire trial.
Get up. You could tell he dropped it. Then he stood up. He didn't know where to go. Then he ran down, fell, and they was coming after him. He ran around and ran to the coach.
So did the video show the altercation of you know, them approaching him first and then the confrontation? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you talk to your defense attorney about any of these concerns that you had as the trial was playing out, or even now that the trial is over?
100%. I mean, I'm actually praying that somebody sends somebody that we get sent somebody that can help us. It's kind of like I'm still right now in shock, so I'm just moving on and drilling right now.
So you're looking for a new defense attorney for a future appeal?
Yes.
Yeah.
And did your defense attorney say anything about how he feels or they feel the case went?
I'm going to say they gave us the corporate answer. They gave us the corporate answer, you know.
And did Karmelo want to testify in his own on his own behalf, and was
it was based on everything. It didn't need nothing because everything they said when it's self-defense, they have to prove it. They never proved it.
Okay, so that was never because I know there was this pause, and a lot of people thought that, you know, we were going to come back and he was going to take the stand, and he didn't. So that was never an option. That had never been discussed of him taking the stand.
That's why we just need a new. We need somebody who's gonna fight. Mm-hmm. That's what I can really say right now. We just need somebody gonna fight for him. Mm-hmm. Because their whole thing was he provoked it. That was their whole.
The whole thing was, as the father said, he provoked it. And I mean, I'm going to be honest, I don't feel like they proved their case, but they don't have to prove it when you're dealing with a whole racist conglomerate that don't give a damn about Black people. When I thought they said the judge was running for re-election. Now he retiring. Exactly. Now, when I did research on the judge, there was speculation that he would be retiring, but then there was other information that said that he wasn't retiring. Now he does an interview saying he's retiring. I believe he's trying to save his ass because we are coming for you and what you did up in Collin County, because you don't get to just mess with Black folks, especially when you're messing with our youth. As this couple stated, this married couple raising their children in a one-parent household, they did everything right. Like, what could they have done different? What could they have done different?
The entire case, he provoked it. That's what the whole thing was.
And what do you want the world to know about who Karmelo is and what your family is going through right now?
We're going through hell. Doesn't feel real. We feel like, it just don't feel real. He's a good kid. The receipts show he wasn't a YN. We as adults, we're not helping with the YNs. They're not gonna. We could look at.
I like, that's how you know they're young. The father is like the YNs. Look, everybody ain't gonna know what the YNs mean, but I got you. So he's talking about the YNs. The charge is incorrect. Exactly. That's not first degree. And so my thing, with this entire trial is, I said, how can they find him guilty? Like, murder? Like, a lot of times, guys, when, like, for instance, in that case with this man and he ran after the kid and they unalived him. Now, I didn't follow that case, so I don't know a lot about it other than the kid didn't steal nothing. He pretty much ran out, and that guy was found not guilty. Now, sometimes the district attorney will overcharge. Now, if they have not met their burden of proof, what they're supposed to do is acquit. Now, I thought in this case, I felt like they overcharged. So I was like, okay, they ain't gonna find him guilty of that. But when they added the manslaughter, I started thinking, I said, oh, they're trying to put him in prison by any means necessary. And the reason that I said that is because if the jury would have found him not guilty of murder, then he would have walked free. But then when they added the manslaughter, I said, well, I feel like they're trying to add another charge just in case the jury can't find him guilty of the murder. They can be like, okay, well, he's definitely guilty of manslaughter. So my thinking process was, if they find him guilty, it will probably be of the manslaughter. When they came back and said that he was guilty of murder, I was like, oh my gosh, how? I feel like the mother feels like they kind of had their mind made up. People were saying that they feel some kind of way because the jurors were falling asleep. The jurors were falling asleep. Thank you for the super chat, Butterfly Rose number 3. So people were worried and were saying things about this case because they were like, wait a minute, the jurors are not taking notes. And I think somebody had stated that, I guess maybe in Texas, they don't take notes. I'm not sure, but people were worried. And now, since we can all look back and think about this, they had made up their mind from the get-go. But I don't think that is an excuse for the defense not to do anything. You know what I mean? They should have put on a better case.
The tragedy that happened, but it was by the law. Mm-hmm. The law supposed to cover us. So anybody who feels any way different, I honestly feel like,
when you said Secret Service Sam did interviews with Dwayne Morris. Okay. Now, since you mentioned him, now that is who I was supposed to have. So I don't know what happened to him. He was supposed to come over today, but he did have some things going on. But that's why I really like doing interviews, because they will, they'll cancel at the last minute.
It's okay when as long as the devil don't knock at your door. Cause I was clueless like that too. Hey man, it never happened. It would never happen to me. It would never happen to us. Cause we stayed in our lane. We were nice neighborhood. We were doing good, but these people basically made it their. We just had comments to where people say, "Yeah, we sending y'all back to the hood. We sending y'all. Y'all don't deserve. Y'all don't deserve what y'all have." He said it in court yesterday. Forgot. He said that they told my son to look at me when I'm talking to you.
Who said that?
The dad.
Listen to this, guys. I need y'all to listen to this because somebody told me during sentencing that the way that they belittled Karmelo was just terrible. Now, the father is saying the same thing. I'm going to kind of rewind it just a little bit because the father is basically going into saying that they kind of belittled Karmelo in court and basically was saying that he doesn't deserve anything that he has. So I'm gonna turn the volume up. Make sure y'all listening. And I did hear this from another source that generally when you're going through a trial, the victim, they get up, they're able to get up and say things. But when you get up and speak and say what you say, you can't belittle somebody. Like you can say what your feelings is. I was told that the father was up there cussing. I was also told, now I don't know if this part is true. So I wanted to confirm it, but I was told that the parents had to go out because I think there was a problem that they had with the way that this father was addressing their son. So I was told that they put them out of the courtroom. But listen to this.
He said that they told my son to look at me when I'm talking to you.
Who said that?
The dad, the son, both of them said, "Look at me while we talk to you." Like, oh, it's gonna come out. They said, "Look at me while we talk to you." What? Yeah.
The dad, Metcalf's father, said,
I gotta rewind this. So when the filthy McNasties, dirty, dingy folks, when they addressed him, the father said they belittled him and said, "Look at me when I'm talking to you." That's that behavior. Look at me, boy, when I'm talking to you. I'm gonna rewind that, y'all. Listen to it. I don't know what that was. That's
why is and I know we could look at
okay. Here we go.
the tragedy that happened, but it was by the law. Mm-hmm. The law supposed to cover us. So anybody who feels any way different, I honestly feel like, it's okay when as long as the devil don't knock at your door. Cause I was clueless like that too. Hey man, it never happened. It would never happen to me. It would never happen to us. Cause we stayed in our lane. We were nice neighborhood.
So they come to the court to give their statement or whatever, and you say, "Look at me when I'm talking to you. Look at me when I'm talking to you." The judge didn't interfere with this. What the fuck do you mean? Look at me when I talk to you. Yeah, you take this. So let's kind of get into it. But now he confirms what I've already heard. I heard that during that time that they were talking to Karmelo so bad that the family was removed from the court because they were like, "Oh no." But the judge allowed this. The judge allowed this. Now, the judge allows people to get up and say, but you can't get up there and be cussing at people. You can't be up there attacking people. You can say how you feel, but look at me when I'm talking to you. So he stated that not only did the nasty father do it, but so did his one twin that's missing the other twin. That's why you missing a twin now.
We were doing good, but these people basically made it their. We just had comments to where people say, "We sending y'all back to the hood. We sending y'all. Y'all don't deserve what y'all have." He said it in court.
He said it in court. We sending y'all back to the hood. You don't deserve what you have. What? You sending them back to the hood? He said they said it in court. What?
They forgot. He said that they told my son to look at me when I'm talking to you.
Who said that?
The dad, the son, both of them said, look at me while we talk to you. Like, oh, it's gonna come out. They said, look at me while we talk to you. What? Yeah,
So the dad, Metcalf's father, said that to Karmelo.
And the son. The son came out. The son came out. He eventually got on the stand for the impact statement, you know, but he didn't want to get on the stand. And I even tried to get people to, I even tried to get them to call him, but it's just a lot. And I know what's going to hurt me more because this interview may push a lot of people out want to help us because, oh, well, you did this, man, I don't do this. I don't understand why we like that. Like, we're all fighting for the same goal. Like, oh, man, all right, sure. Well, you said this.
The family is in court telling, tell me how is this an impact statement by telling somebody, I'm going to send you back to the hood. You don't deserve what you have. That seems personal. You know, you set up in court crying about your dead ass son, but yet you're talking about me going back to the hood. How do you know they from the hood? And what does that have to do with your dead ass son? This is why I don't like these folks. And then you get in court and say, look at me when I'm talking to you. How can you feel sorry for people like this? Look at me when I'm talking to you. That's that racist mentality. Look at me, boy, when I'm talking to you.
I can't, what? Come on, man. Like, but it's okay because you know what? It's not yours. So I totally understand it. But I just tell everybody, be careful when in case that devil not.
You know, and as parents, have you all struggled with guilt, you know, asking yourselves, is there anything differently?
Exactly. These hillbilly country mother, okay, let me read it. These hillbillies are terrorizing the Anthony family, and this family needs to be protected. Karmelo will get his appeal, and this case will be overturned. Exactly. This is why nobody gives a fuck about their son. Like, who cares? Nobody likes you. It's a way to do things. Now, I can't really identify with what you're going through because you have too much unresolved anger. All of this is unnecessary. You're making the situation worse. Nobody can identify with your hurt when this is how you act, because essentially what he's saying is, we just don't like it because your black ass took my son up out of here. It was you, and we gonna tear it. That's what it's about. You terrorizing them, you're harassing them, but you want them to feel sympathetic for you. They don't.
I know, Kayla, you said you wish you had gone to that track meet, you know, but as the trial has played out, is there anything that you both wish you could have done differently?
I wish I would have been rebellious and just do what
or listening to advice that you thought was.
I was told, don't talk to this person. Don't talk to this person. I feel like it was just a setup. Now, like I said, they told us, go get white attorneys. Every black person I went to, white attorney. No white attorney that said, I'm going to push them. Hey, here you go. I mean, no objections. It was things smooth. So because as a father of me being who I am, I got to make sure she's straight. This mama bear, I got to make sure she's straight mentally, because if she's not straight, my house ain't straight. I'm not straight. That's because I got the kids to worry about. Got to make sure his mental health. I can't go.
This is a good father. Most men don't recognize the mental health of their partner. What this man just said is he got to make sure his wife is straight. Because if she ain't straight, his house ain't straight, his kids ain't straight. That's really why they mad. You're mad. You mad at what you ain't got, okay? Because that's a real man right there. He said, listen, I have to make sure her mental health. And he's right. Because if she mentally not connected, everything in the house is not going to be connected. Because we can only do what we got, you know, at times where we're low and we can't do this or do that. It's going to be hard for us to take care of children and things. But as a father, he recognizes that. He also goes into saying how his son, you know, was going through this traumatic situation and he didn't want to basically give his son more than he could bear, because you don't know when nobody's breaking point is. As a father, he identifies, even with my son, he has a breaking point. And I don't want to be the one to overload him with too much.
Back and forth with him right in there, because I don't think his mental can handle it, the misunderstanding what dad's trying to say. This ain't a daddy moment. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
It's not the time for me to be arguing with you about, hey, you know, I'm like, hey son, can you see? And a lot of people say, well, I would have done this or I would have done that. Mm-hmm. You say that because you're not in that situation. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't do that. And me knowing my son, which is, you know, your child, correct? Mm-hmm. You see, I don't want him to maybe want to hurt himself because I don't know what he's dealing with. He's doing a great job. He's still in school. I'm keeping him busy. We're trying to do stuff around the house. And one thing this thing did do with us, it brought our family closer. Yeah. And I worked a lot. Well, I didn't work that much. I was home on weekends. But to her, I worked too much. But I was able to have this time for us to be together. Yeah. And I think they did this to us because they wanted us to be in poverty. They wasn't expecting, because the tables are turned. Me and her been together since high school. It's the other side who was divorced.
That part. He said, listen, me and my wife been together since high school. Stop trying to paint these bullshit narratives about this one parent household and we struggling over here. No, that's over on your side. You see, you know, they don't feel sympathetic for these people. They harass them, attacking them, came to their house, getting them fired from his job. Fuck y'all. Like, nobody cares about you or anything you're going through when you're constantly putting out fake narrative. They started this campaign. See, they told them that they couldn't talk about it, all while the other side was talking about it, putting out social media campaigns saying these folks had stolen money, just a whole bunch of bull crap that just wasn't true.
So that picture they painted, the houses and the cars, that was the other side. That wasn't us. We just couldn't say nothing. And then we did say something. It was like, oh, whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't go. Hey, don't do this. Don't say this. Hey, people gonna say what they gonna say. So that's what. So no matter what we did, we was losing. You know,
lose battle. You felt like it was a lose battle. Yeah. And I just have a few more questions for you. I want to. When the verdict came down, what was the first thought that went through your head?
I put my son. I felt like, man, I felt like I cried so much. I held back and I told her, man, you know, I'm that dad, like, hold it up, and be tight. I said, boy, you broke me. You broke me when it first happened. I never cried as much as I've cried. Mm-hmm. And it was just like when I seen him, when he grabbed it, I could still picture that man when he's saying it there. He said it so smooth. Like the way he said it.
He's referencing the judge. Remember when I said this judge, he didn't like him. This is joy for this judge. The father said it's the way that the judge said it. Y'all remember when I said the judge, he really very seemed like he is there to support one family, you know? Karmelo's father said, it's the way that he said it. It's the way that he said it. You see what I'm saying? Now, a judge, why you so involved? Because they needed to get that nigger up the river because he messed with an old white, this is an old white dusty person, but you know, it's the way that he said it.
The way he read that verdict, it was like, you know, just, yeah, hey, yeah, and such and such, yeah, he's found guilty. It was just comfortable. It was comfortable. You know, you could tell the way he read it was no, like, damn, it was, hey, look. And I told my attorney, like, yeah, we know.
He said it's the way that he read it. Didn't I just say it's the way that his movements, how he's communicating? This was fulfilling for this judge. And now it makes a lot of sense because the judge is saying, oh, I'm retiring. So of course, run a shit show in the court, do whatever you want to do because you're retiring anyway. You still gonna leave with all your money. You don't gotta worry about re-election because you're retiring. So it makes sense now. But he said it's the way that he said it.
The hell you mean you know? But I didn't act up. I'm the emotional black man. You follow what I'm saying? Oh, look at him. Then it would have been on breaking news. Oh, he done flashed out. Oh, look how that's how they had it. We got him. So
all right, so I just wanted to kind of go over that. You guys, I mean, obviously check it out. It's on the Breakfast Club's YouTube channel, in which you guys can kind of see the whole interview or whatever, but I can't play it over here. I can only play the audio. So I'm going to wrap here. Like I said, I had a guest that was coming on today. He canceled. So I don't know. I may change his interview into a video because I don't like to say that I have an interview and then the person don't show up, because now I'm kind of left to, try to figure out what I'm gonna do on a live stream. But it kind of worked out today strictly because I had saw the interview that the judge had did, and I thought it was a great opportunity, for us to talk about it over here. So I will catch you guys later on. Like I said, I'm gonna do a video tomorrow, and we're gonna go over the attorney being paid and, supposed to be able to bring, well, they said that expert witnesses were paid. Now, let me tell y'all who said this. There is a network that is I thought that he was no longer working with them, but apparently they do have some kind of relationship. But this spokesperson, I guess I wouldn't call him the spokesperson, but he has a relationship with the Anthony family. He said that they paid for expert witnesses and different things, and these people just were never called. Okay, so that makes sense why everything was just halted, and we were all wondering, like, wait a minute, where is it? So for some reason they just decided we just going to kill this. Okay, so like I said, tomorrow I'll get into the video of the the costs and expenses and stuff like that. Now, if you guys have not liked the video, I would appreciate it if you go ahead, like the video, hype up the stream, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Yeah. Okay, I'm listening. Go on. Yes, I'm typing it all down.
Clear, spilling tea, no fear, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. I don't lies right here. sugar, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Yeah. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. I'm still here, no fear, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Make sure you subscribe to Lakeysha Keysha, my dear. I'm still here, no fear, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Stretch words like
Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. Make sure you subscribe to the Lakeysha Keysha channel.